Hi, I'm Roger Levin, and I'm at the ADA annual meeting in Denver, Colorado. On Wednesday, the ADA had its first ever small group practice symposium, and I was honored to be the kickoff speaker. It was great because we have a lot of experience now in our consulting firm working with small groups, and they are different. So I'm going to share with you 2 or 3 key things to think about as you're expanding your small group. First is to understand that a small group is not like other private practices. As you develop it, the #1 pitfall is going to be the way each office is managed. And the reason is that small groups come together in a myriad of different ways. For example, you had a dentist nearby that passed away, so you bought that practice. You had another dentist that retired, so you bought those patients. You opened a practice 5 miles away, and so on. The problem is that as you develop, each practice begins to operate very differently, creating a lot of pressure, stress, and inefficiency on the organization. Now, at 3 or 4 practices, you're okay managing that, but when you get to 5 or more, it becomes very difficult. And most of these practices develop in strange ways. For example, one will be managed by an assistant who's been with you for 20 years. You love her, she's loyal, but she has no real management experience or capability. Another is managed by someone you hired, but they didn't have any management experience either. So key #1 is get every office administrator properly trained in the systems that you want so that each practice can run in the same way, is reproducible, and find out if the office administrators or directors that you have are truly capable of running your offices, because not everyone is cut out for this particular position. The second issue we find in small groups is the owner. Now, I'm a dentist. I practiced full-time for 10 years, so I can say this to you. As dentists, we don't typically get trained in business. In my case, I'm the CEO of a dental management consulting firm, so for 31 years I've been studying business, but I also speak 80 days a year and interact with dentists weekly and know that most dentists do not have much of a business background. Because of that, many are still practicing within their small group. They have limited time, limited knowledge, and aren't sure where to take the organization. So my second key recommendation is either get a CEO to run the organization, have the dentist become business trained and become the CEO, or get experts in your life that can help you organize and plan and strategize for your practices. And that brings up #3, something that not every private practice certainly needs, but small groups do, which is strategic planning. Now, when dentists hear strategic planning, it's sort of an amorphous term that feels a little bit like Jell-O. But I'm going to tell you, one of the biggest problems is that small group practices come together in a mishmash of ways that don't make sense. If you're going to develop a small group, you want to start with a strategy plan, even if you only have 1 practice. I get asked all the time by solo dentists, should I buy 4 or 5 practices? And the answer is, well, what's your strategy? So you develop a strategic plan of how you're going to add practices, how you're going to grow the organization. You add a financial plan, you add a marketing plan, you add a tactical operational plan. I like 5-year plans, so plan your strategy in 5-year increments. Going any longer doesn't make sense because the world's changing just too fast. And by the way, once you have your incredible plan, and we've done a ton of these for small groups, remember these words: no plan survives its collision with reality. The purpose of the plan is not to achieve it exactly, but to benchmark against it on a monthly basis over 5 years, make the right decisions, move in the right directions, and you can create a very lucrative and successful and enjoyable small group practice. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for spending this time with me.